the Holy Quran. The first word of the Holy Quran. What is that?
اقرأ.
Huh?
اقرأ.
Ikra. Speak. And the first word of the Masnavi is listen. You see, the Masnavi is in many respects like a commentary on the Holy Quran. And the first word of the Holy Quran, the angel says to him, recite, say, speak, whatever the translation is. And then Mevlana says, listen. What is the good of speaking if there's no one listening? See, Mary is not listening now. She's dreaming something. Now, the question is, that is a huge word, listen. Actually, it's related to Sema. In Sema, we listen. Now you have to learn to listen to the voice inside your heart. And if you when for example when you're hearing music, Sema, you don't listen to the music, you listen to what's behind the music, and you will soon find that actually everything, all sound is like that, whether it's just the sound in the street. See, the cars going beep beep. If it's in Iran, they're going beep 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 beep. Oh, whatever. Anyway, and so many sounds, people talking. Now listen. Don't listen to what they say. Listen beyond that. Beyond that, you will find you start to hear, and Sema that is hearing, Sema, and Mevlana was such a person that he could hear Sema even in the hammering of a goldsmith. What was the name of the goldsmith? Anyway.
Zarku.
Yeah, there's a person. But anyway, so there was just sound, bang, bang, bang. And yet he heard, and if you listen carefully, listen to the sound of a saw. A saw, you know a saw? Do you understand saw? Do you understand saw?
Yes.
Now listen to the sound of the saw. That's the first step of Sema. The saw is saying something. First of all, you listen and it's your imagination. Maybe it's saying, oh, it's time for tea, time for tea, time for tea. I don't know. So you listen. After a while, the listening is no longer your imagination. It's you're actually hearing. And as a matter of fact, it's the same with seeing. To begin with, you look. Have you ever done cloud gazing? You look at clouds, beautiful clouds, and see what shapes are in the clouds. See, there is a horse. There is a person doing this. You see, it's your imagination. But if you keep looking, it comes a point when it's no longer your imagination and you cannot control it. With your imagination, you can control it, but otherwise, you start to see it move by itself. You think, I'm not doing that. It's not your imagination. And it's the same with sound, Sema. You listen to it. First of all, it's your imagination. Oh, it's saying, oh, yes. You imagine it saying, let's see, it's sawing a piece of wood. What? Time for tea, 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 time for tea. It goes on and on and on. That's just your imagination. But if you keep listening and really hearing, you will hear gradually, you will start to hear the sound of things. And that's what Mevlana could do. And, you know, when he was dictating the Masnavi, he didn't write it like an ordinary writer. He didn't think, oh, shall I write this? No, I'll cross this out and put this in. No, he just recited it. He didn't actually write it. Somebody else wrote it for him. Who was it? Husamuddin used to write it down. He didn't write it. He heard it. He heard it. He could hear the unseen and all the conversation. And sometimes he even refers to it. He says, oh, I would tell you more, but something is coming between. And he's listening and then he's telling it to you. So when you read the Masnavi, it's not only that it's Mevlana's wonderful writing, but it's the fact that he was listening and then reciting. So you please, when you listen to music, when you read you hear the Masnavi, listen for what is being said underneath. I think the Indians have a phrase for it. I've forgotten the word. I think it's shruti or something. It's hearing the unheard, hearing what is not heard by people ordinarily. And to do that, you are dependent upon Allah, upon the saints to take out from your ears the cotton wool which is in them. So, for example, see, Hard Ghazal has cotton wool in her ears. That's because their hair is over her ears. No. Anyway, she was looking very serious. So you have cotton wool in your ears. You are not hearing. You hear the words that people say, you don't hear the words inside what they say. You know, when I ask people to recite the Quran in the Zikr group, I don't listen to the words that they say, even though they are actually wonderful words of Allah, but I listen to the sound inside the person and what they're saying inside. You see, people will say one thing outside. People like to come along with rehearsed scripts that they say, they sit there, and I know they've gone over that in their mind 20 times, and it's a rehearsed thing. I say, stop it. I want to hear you speak from the heart. Now, you see, Mevlana could hear, and he knew what was in the minds of the people that were listening. When he would say something, and he would know that there was someone in the audience who was saying, oh yes, but and then he would answer that. And then, so sometimes his thing seems to ramble a bit, but it doesn't. He's actually talking to an audience, to the people, and he's answering their unspoken questions. See, if you don't start to hear Vaishnav, if you don't start to hear, then you have lost the best part of the Masnavi. Masnavi is a great guide. It's a great guide, but you must follow that guide. You must hear it from inside, not just from outside. You must hear what is really being said in the unseen world, because it is the passive. How do you get into the unseen world? That's what happened? Oh. How do you see? That's what Shida would be asking. How do you you know? Mevlana gives the answer to that. Actually, he says, "I was knocking from the outside, bump bump, knocking on the door, and then all of a sudden I realised I was knocking from the inside. How? No, he just see you in the unseen world. It's not that you have to do this or you have to do that. It just comes to you. It comes to you. So just in the same way Mevlana was saying, I was knocking from the he thought he was knocking from the outside. Let me in, let me in. And then suddenly he realized he wasn't knocking from the outside. He was already in and he was knocking from the inside. Who is that person sitting there? Has she gone? Who is the one? No, next to the one in green. Oh, I just remember. No, they don't know English, children. Mariam, you better translate. I'm going to sleep while you do it.
Actually, I did it while you were talking.
Wow, Mariam, you're such a clever girl.
Actually, I didn't have my pen and paper with me to write down.
Jamil said she's a
So
genius.
I just did it simultaneously.
Mariam, were you topping your class?
No, I
Oh.
was always an intermediate student.
Oh, I wouldn't like to meet the top people, would you? Oh, goodness me.
No, I have never been the top student.
Well, you're a top student with me, dear. Don't worry. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? Yes,
Sorry to interrupt you, Jamil Sahib. Salam
yes.
alaikum again.
Who's that? Yes, hello. Oh, you're the lady with the questions, aren't you?
That is my question. Jamil Sahib, Mariam is a genius.
Yes, yes, yes. Quite possibly. Quite possibly.
She was translating all of what you were saying simultaneously at the same time.
Wow.
Yes. At the same time, she was just working like a real translator.
Wow. She could have been a translator, actually. She went and studied it for a while, didn't you, Mariam?
Yes.
She would have been very good. Can you imagine her in the United Nations, with the headphones like that? Yeah, she could do that, actually. She could have done that, but she had a higher calling. Shall I tell you something about the unseen world? Do you know they have translators in the unseen world? It surprised me, but they do. So, for instance, if I talk to Mevran or Khoja Sahib or Rob Sabzoni, I speak in English and I listen, I hear it in English. Now, for instance, Nob Sahib never spoke English. I'm sure Khoja Sahib didn't speak English, and I suspect Mevlana didn't speak English, but I hear it in English. How is that? Because in the unseen world, they have translators. And when you're doing dialogue with the unseen, they translate it into your own language. So you would hear the same thing in Parsi, but I hear it in English. What a strange thing language is, yeah? Mevlana talks about it somewhere. He talks about some people who were employed and they were told they could all have they would all be given a certain amount of, I think it was angle, you see. But they all spoke different languages, so they were a bit concerned because they wanted grapes, but all they were getting was angle. Actually, what angle and all the other languages, words grapes, it all refers to the same thing. Huh? What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
Shima.
What?
Shima.
You're another Shima. Oh,
No, yes, two Shimas. Jamil, is it true that it is said that we can hear the voices of unseen world awake at dawn? I have heard such a thing, like if people are awake at dawn, they can easily hear the unseen world voices through the angels or through their through what's going on.
Yes, it's true. It's quite true. The morning hours are the best time for hearing. As a matter of fact, the Quran says the prayer of the morning is heard. That's absolutely right. Second thing is this. Sometimes when you are asleep, you wake up and your dream is still going on and you can hear yourself in your dream. And that happened to me with Zuhumia the night before I became murid. I woke up in the morning and I heard myself. I heard my own voice saying, please make it beautiful. Please make it beautiful. Please make it beautiful. I didn't know what that meant, but anyway, we had the, what is called, the bayat, and at the end of the bayat, somebody said to Zuhumil, you haven't given him a name yet. So he said, oh, his name is Jamil. And you know that Jamil means handsome or beautiful. So he heard also my prayer, and I heard my own prayer. Sometimes you can hear your own voice, and there's Mevlana writes about it. There's something very unique about a voice. It's like a fingerprint. You can tell, Mevlana writes this also, you can tell that, oh, it's this person's voice, or it's that person's voice. Somehow you can tell one voice from another. Mevlana writes about that as well. The thing is this, look, if you are serious about the Masnavi, then you must come to know it like a friend. And so when you have a difficulty in your mind, an answer comes from the Masnavi. And Mevlana has written so many different things in the Masnavi that if you listen and inside you will hear something from Masnavi when you have a difficulty or a problem. And it will give you advice. You should follow that advice. Okay. Mariam, are you translating that?
Yes, she translated everything. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Jamil Sahib. Thank you. May God bless you.
Did she translate Allah?
Allah, she was praying, she was saying and reciting Allah the same as you.
Really? Wow.
As you saying that, Mariam starts dhikr too.
Very good. Good. All right, salam.
Jamil Sahib, thank you for being with us for all these 9 years. We know every Monday
How long? How
For
long?
9 years. Every Monday you have joined us. And you
9
have
years? 9 years? I didn't know I was that old.
Maybe we should sign Peppa's
Raz.
What's the day?
Do you want to come and say salam?
No.
No. No. She's got an armful of Peppa Pigs.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's nice to see you all. I'm glad you enjoyed your Masnavi. But listen, don't think you because you haven't. You must go deep into it. Find it. You know, I listen to it still, the English version, and that's only a translation. And I listen to it, and I hear new things every time. Well, even though I am reading it, I hear new things every time. Huh? If you have that Masnavi in your heart, it adds to the quality of your life beyond expectation. Beyond expectation. Huh? And not only that, if you are really very, if Allah blesses you, you reach this. There is a certain stage called perfection. What is that word? Perfection.
Kamal.
What?
Kamal.
Kamal. Of course, it's Kamal. Yes, there's a stage called perfection. Kamal. If you reach that stage, now that gives you that stage. I tell you this, you can see the Masnavi in front of you and you can read it from inside. And I give you an example. I had a friend in Southampton, Mr. Rashid, and he is not Hafiz, but he's like half Hafiz, but he's also blind. He can't see at all. And his sight was getting worse and worse. But he could still recite lots of the Quran. And I found that when Zohumi was very fond of him, actually. I found that when I sat next to him and he recited the Quran, I used to look and I could see the Quran that he was reciting. From inside, I could see it in front of my eyes. So, hello, Raz.
Maybe I'm going to watch something on iPad.
Something on iPad, that's a good idea. Yeah. All right, dear. But best wishes. May Allah bless each and every one of you. And may the Masnavi make your life rich, rich, rich. Okay. Salam.
Salam.
Salam. Salam.
Salam.
Salam.
Bye bye.